Good morning, everybody. It's about 7:46 Wednesday morning. Yes, I'm up early. Usually I sleep in a little bit, but you know how it is. But anyway, I want to talk about something that a lot of wrestling fans, WWE fans, have been talking about over the past few weeks, ever since the end of TLC and recently as of this past Monday, and that is, who will be the one? Who will be the one that wins the Royal Rumble this year? And also, who will be the breakout stars of this year? Well, the last one is a question also asked by WWE itself. Who do we think will break out this year for 2011? Well, the Royal Rumble, let's just say, whoever wins that one, well, it's not going to be a young talent. I hate to say it. No, I'm sorry. I hate to say it. It's not going to be a young talent. I think we already know who's going to win that one if it's advertised as one of the matches at WrestleMania. But speaking of the Royal Rumble, one of the things people have acknowledged that WWE has been doing is pushing its young talent. And there's no better example than that than the Rumble itself. Why? Because two of the main events, the Raw and the Smackdown main events, have young talent in there that have never been in main events for either brand. On the Raw side, as of this Monday, we know that it will be The Miz defending the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Now, some people like this because, well, some people who hate The Miz probably believe and figure The Miz is finally going to lose this title. Well, if he's advertised to defend the title at WrestleMania, I don't think that's going to happen. But again, we never know. Now, the Smackdown main event is for the, of course, the Smackdown main event, of course, is for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it will be, if you attended last night's Smackdown tapings for this Friday, or if you read the spoilers online at places like No DQ, PWI Torch, and other wrestling sites out there. If you read the spoilers or you attended the event last night, you know that Edge is still the World Heavyweight Champion. You also know that he has a new challenger in the midst. Someone that obviously he will face at the Royal Rumble. And who is that? Who is Edge going to defend his title against? Why, none other than Mr. Perfection himself, Dolph Ziggler. That's right, Dolph Ziggler is going to be in the main event, one of the main events of the Royal Rumble. And how is this possible? Well, last night, Dolph Ziggler walked into the Smackdown tapings for this Friday as Intercontinental Champion, but he lost this belt to Kofi Kingston. Not once did he lose this belt, but he lost it twice. See, basically, and this is spoilers contained in case you didn't read them already, or if you were there last night, basically what happened is Vicky Guerrero demanded the match get restarted. So the match was restarted, and once again, Dolph Ziggler lost the match. Then, apparently, the next match of the night was supposed to be a triple threat match between Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and The Big Show to determine who would face Edge at the Rumble. Instead, Vicky Guerrero decides to add Dolph Ziggler into the mix, and what happens? Dolph Ziggler wins and what happens? Well, Dolph Ziggler ends up winning the now Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match and will face Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. Now, some people are saying that, now I'm pretty sure a lot of people are saying that since Dolph lost this title last night at the Smackdown tapings that were aired this Friday, that Dolph is going to probably end up, and since, Dolph won a fatal 4-way, which was originally a triple threat for the #1 contendership to this, the World Heavyweight Championship, a lot of people are probably already saying and stating that Dolph Ziggler is going to walk out of the Rumble World Heavyweight Champion. Well, if that happens, then that shows you that WWE has some confidence, has some faith in Dolph Ziggler being one of the breakout stars, one of the breakout main eventers for this year. Now, you might say to yourself, well, why did they want to take the title off Dolph when they could have made it champion versus champion? Well, in the past, they would have kept the title on Dolph Ziggler, no doubt about it. But nowadays, if you're going to possibly groom somebody like a Dolph Ziggler for a run at this, or for a run with this, then you got to take the belt, you got to take the championship that he currently has off of him. It's the same thing they did with The Miz. They took the title off The Miz, and 2 months later, he became WWE, not 2 months, but 3 months later, he became WWE champion. Am I right? Actually, 2 months later. But he became WWE champion, am I right? Exactly. And they could be doing the same thing with Dolph. They could be grooming him to become world champion at the Royal Rumble, or possibly world champion at Elimination Chamber. Now, I'm not going to get into any predictions just yet. That won't happen for another couple of weeks. But I will kind of give my thoughts on who I think will be the one that wins the Royal Rumble. Now, apparently, we already know who the one's going to be if he's advertised to face the WWE champion at the Royal Rumble, not the Royal Rumble, but at WrestleMania. We already know who that's going to be. But then again, we could be wrong. It might be somebody totally different. WWE might decide to give the Royal Rumble match to a Smackdown competitor. That's what they've been doing for the majority, giving it to a Smackdown guy. But let me ask you this. How many times has Smackdown been in the main event? The actual main event of WrestleMania? Not many. Not many. Now, that's why I believe the one that's going to be in the main event is going to be the WWE Champion and his challenger. Now, besides the person that obviously looks like is going to win the Rumble, who else would be the one? Who else would be capable of winning this Royal Rumble? Well, a lot of people, because WWE, a lot of people are hoping, because WWE is pushing young talent, it's someone that hasn't really had an opportunity. For example, one of the favorites, I guess, in many fans' eyes would be Alberto Del Rio. Obviously, Alberto Del Rio has already hyped himself up as the person that's destined to win the Royal Rumble. Now, let's say Alberto Del Rio does get groomed and does win the Royal Rumble. Let's say he's booked to win the Royal Rumble. And if Alberto Del Rio is booked to win the Royal Rumble, then obviously they're going to keep the title on Edge. And how will that happen? Well, if Edge beats Dolph Ziggler at the Rumble, and then let's say Edge retains in the Elimination Chamber, then obviously Edge is going to face Alberto Del Rio. See, it's all about what the outcome of the matches before it are. Now, the Royal Rumble match usually is the main event of the night. It's usually the last match of the night. But there have been occasions where the Rumble has been the second to last match or even the third to last match. Why? Because WWE does that to throw you off. Let's say it's the third to last match, and the last two matches are the WWE Championship match and the World Heavyweight Championship match. Let's say those are the last two matches of the night, and the Rumble is sandwiched in between. The reason WWE would do that is to throw people off, so that people wouldn't know who's not only going to win the Rumble, but who the champion they would be facing would be. Get what I'm saying? In other words, let's say Alberto Del Rio wins the Rumble. Then you know later on in the night that Edge possibly is going to beat Dolph Ziggler. Now, the stipulation of the Rumble does not. Now, the stipulation of the Rumble states that the winner can challenge any champion that they want. But in recent years, I don't think ever since 2004, perhaps 2004, I believe. But in recent years, it's always been since 2004, I believe, and I think 2008. Yeah, 2008. I don't think 2009 actually. With the exception of 2004 and I believe 2009, I could be wrong on a few occasions, we've never had the Rumble winner challenge another champion from another brand. Now, 2009, people will say that was more of an interpromotional match in some ways, if even that, because Triple H was the Smackdown guy at the time and Randy was a Raw guy. That's true. That's true. That's why Triple H won. They wanted to keep the title on him because he was still on SmackDown. Now, like I said, the only other exception was when Chris Benoit in 2004, when he won the Rumble, the night after jumped ship from SmackDown to Raw. Why? Because I guess storyline-wise, he didn't want to get screwed over by Paul Heyman when he came to the WWE Championship. And two, he wanted to challenge the best in the world. And the two best in the eyes of him, and I guess in the eyes of many at the time, were Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So that's why storyline-wise, and I guess backstage-wise, Benoit jumped ship to Raw and challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Now, like I said, if someone like, say, Alberto Del Rio won the Rumble, then technically he could challenge the World Heavyweight Champion on the SmackDown brand. But that doesn't mean he has to challenge the champion on the SmackDown brand. No, he can actually challenge the champion on the Raw brand. So let's say Del Rio wins, he can appear on Raw the next night and say, I'm coming here to Raw now because I'm going to challenge the WWE champion. You know, he can do that. He can do that. Now, he's one of the possible favorites, or one of the choices people would like to see. Another choice would be John Morrison. Why? Well, after this past Monday, in that great opening match he had for the WWE Championship against The Miz, people would like to see him match up against The Miz on the grandest stage of them all. They'd like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing it myself, because if WWE lets them nearly go all out on Raw, imagine what WWE could do with them at WrestleMania. But again, not saying John Morrison would challenge the WWE champion, because if he was to win and he's a babyface, then John Morrison would obviously face The Miz, because Miz would retain. Now, though, doesn't mean, again, like Alberto Del Rio, doesn't mean John Morrison has to challenge The Miz. He could challenge the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, let's say Morrison decides to challenge the World Heavyweight Champion, then that means, obviously, Dolph Ziggler is going to win. If not at the Rumble, but down the line. You see, those are the possibilities, and that, again, is another person people would like seeing winning the Rumble. Other people, like, say, some of the guys out of Nexus, I know some people would like to see at least have an opportunity, or a close chance of winning the Rumble. Some people that out of Nexus, that some people might consider dark horses to win the Rumble, could be Otunga and Gabriel. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if McGillicuddy became a dark horse to win the Rumble, because they're that good. That good. Well, Otunga maybe not that good, but the way he's being groomed and everything, the way he's being treated, because of his Hollywood status outside of the company, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the dark horse favorites to win. But Justin Gabriel and McGillicuddy, I believe, are true dark horses in the match. I know some people may argue that, but those are dark horses that could come out and win it. And again, even though they're a part of Nexus on Raw, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to challenge the WWE Champion. Because if one of them did win, then yes, apparently the WWE Champion would be Randy Orton. But it doesn't mean they have to face Randy. No, it means they can jump over to Smackdown and say, hey, we're going to challenge Edge. Or whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is. Same could be said for CM Punk. CM Punk, who's recently been traded from SmackDown to Raw, could end up winning the Royal Rumble. And being a heel, he would automatically face Randy Orton. But then again, he could also jump ship back to SmackDown and challenge whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is. The same could be said for Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, in case some of you don't know this is another spoiler from last night. Wade Barrett is now part of SmackDown apparently. Because after the Fatal 4-Way, he attacked the Big Show. So it looks like Wade Barrett's on SmackDown now. Which I guess is a good move since they need more heels on that show than anything to balance out the babyfaces. But let's say someone like Wade Barrett comes out and wins the Rumble. Wade Barrett could stay on SmackDown and challenge the World Heavyweight Champion. But then again, Wade Barrett could jump back ship to Raw and challenge the WWE Champion. You see, those are some of the names people would consider as dark horses. Now I know there's some others. Like Evan Bourne can make a surprise return and possibly win the Rumble. And again, Evan Bourne wouldn't have to just challenge the champion on his brand. He could jump ship to SmackDown and challenge the champion's brand. Same with Sheamus. Sheamus could challenge, if Sheamus won, Sheamus could challenge for the WWE title, or he could jump ship to SmackDown and say, I'm going to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. He could do that. He can do that. But, and like I said, these are just names I'm just throwing out there of people that could win it. I mean, Cody Rhodes could win it. Cody Rhodes could win the Royal Rumble, and instead of challenging for the world title on SmackDown, could jump ship and challenge for the WWE title on Raw. Same with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre could win the Rumble, but instead of challenging for the world title on SmackDown, he could jump ship to Raw for the WWE Championship. Ted DiBiase is the same thing. Ted DiBiase could win the Rumble. Instead of challenging for the WWE Championship on Raw, he could jump ship to SmackDown to go for the world title. I mean, this match is important for a lot of wrestlers because, and not just for a lot of the superstars, but not just the superstars, but for the fans. Because the fans never know if, let's say, a certain superstar on a brand is going to jump ship to another brand and challenge for that world title because they won the Rumble. But those names that I just tossed out are some of the names I know fans, and myself personally, would like to see at least win the Rumble or have a chance at it. But we all know, apparently we all know who's going to win the Rumble. Like I said this in one video about it, and I'll say it again. The person that's advertised the tentative plans, because I mentioned this in a video, the tentative plans that WWE has for WrestleMania, for one of the main events, is for John Cena to face The Miz for the WWE Championship. That's a tentative plan. That's one of the plans they want to go forward with. And seeing as though John Cena only has some minor injuries, he's right now, but he's still, obviously, he's still good to go at times, at most times, I should say. That's the direction they want to go with. They want to go with Miz and Cena. So, obviously if John Cena comes back and wins it, then that's what's going to happen. Not saying it could happen that way. Again, saying that someone else could win it, and it could be a SmackDown main event. But again, how many times has SmackDown actually main evented WrestleMania? The last time they actually main evented WrestleMania was WrestleMania 24, and that was it. That was the last match, and that was Edge and Undertaker. That was it. So, again, those are just a list of names I feel should win the Rumble, along with everybody else I feel should win the Royal Rumble. But again, But again, we all know, apparently, that John Cena could be the one that wins it because he's tentatively planned and advertised to face The Miz for the WWE title. Now, I know some people may not like hearing that, but that's the obvious truth. That's the obvious truth, and I'm sticking to it. But the question obviously is, who's going to be in this Rumble? And will we see any surprises? Obviously, I've already told you one of my personal surprise. I told you already what I would like to see as a surprise. I'd like to see Awesome Kong, Amazing Kong, whatever you want to call her, not make her WWE debut as part of the Rumble match. Because think about it. Here's all these guys, and whatever number she draws comes up, and all of a sudden you see this. You can probably hear this. I don't know what kind of music they'll use. Probably music similar to what she's had before. And all the guys will just imagine all the superstars just wrestling. They hear the buzzer go off. They hear this music that I think could be similar to TNA's. If WWE does that, they look, and then here comes this gigantic woman. I mean, what would you do? What would your reaction be? Exactly. You'd be like, holy shit. But again, that's one of the surprises I would like to see. Other surprises I think we already know. I think we already know Khali's going to be in it because he hasn't been around for a while, so we'll probably see him in it. Triple H will probably make his return in it. And there might be a few other surprises. We might even see, we might see a Hall of Famer or so. Who knows? But those are just my thoughts on this year's Royal Rumble. And if you got any of your own thoughts, let me know. Drop them here in the comment box. But again, the list of names of those I would like to probably see win the Rumble along with everybody else. But again, we all probably know who's going to win it. No disrespect there. But the Rumble itself, I will say, is probably a good stepping direction for WWE because they're putting two guys that have never been in the main events of what's known as one of the big four pay-per-views, one of WWE's big four pay-per-views, original four pay-per-views, with they're going in the right direction by allowing guys like Dolph Ziggler to challenge for the world title and Miz to defend the WWE title. So that's a good stepping direction. But again, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace out. God bless.